Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. We are continuing with my spring botanical season and we're going to be using these. These are stunning bookmark, I guess they're open bezels, right? In a way, we've got 6 of flowery ones and 6 blank empty ones. They are from Let's Resin, but I bought these. This video is not sponsored by Let's Resin and sponsored by nobody really. Yeah, we're going Bridgerton vibes. Now the ones with the flowers on were obviously calling to me because we are spring botanical. Now the first step I'm doing here, please don't do it. Do not use UV resin tape when you are using epoxy resin. Now, in my experience, you might have experienced something completely different to me, but in my experience, using this blue or green UV resin tape with epoxy resin leaves a sticky residue. The epoxy resin actually peels off that top sticky layer of the tape, and honestly, it was a nightmare. But I have got a really cool hack to share with you at the end to show you how I kind of got rid of that stick without cleaning them. So yeah, keep watching to find out what we do. So like I said, use packing tape or sellotape. Honestly, big, fat, wide, clear packing tape is the dream tape to be using with epoxy resin. You can just peel it off and it won't leave that sticky surface. Now the next thing, of course, you can see me doing here, I'm just making sure that these bookmarks have fully come into contact with that tape. And by that, I'm just rubbing a wooden lollipop stick all over the surface, pressing down really firmly, just to make sure that none of that epoxy resin is going to be seeping out. We are using epoxy resin in these. We're not using UV, which is why the problems occurred. Now these are quite chunky bookmarks, but at the end of the day, they do the job. They hold your page open, but yeah, your book won't close flat like it would if you were using a paper bookmark. These are around 5 millimeters, I want to say. The colours we're using, the powders are from Resin Pro, not sponsored. My absolute favourite go-to mica powders. I'm not in affiliation with Resin Pro at all, but if you've never used Resin Pro powders, check them out. The Sahara range are simply divine. I'm using pink and green to keep in with the botanical series. Now, the resin I'm using is left over from a previous video that I was filming. Now, sadly for me, this was filmed about 2 weeks ago, so I don't really have much memory on what it was. It would have either been Apex or Let's Resin. Those are the 2 resins I use most of the time. So in we go with the green khaki. Stunning, absolutely stunning green. It just, again, lends itself to the spring and the botanical vibes. Now, like I said, these bookmarks are by Let's Resin. They are, of course, available in the UK because I bought them myself from Amazon. And I just love them. I truly, truly do. And the fact is, you've got 6 with flowers and 6 blanks. Imagine what you could do with the blanks. Now, the reason I prefer these to the Bookmark silicone molds is that the bookmark silicone molds are just a tad too thin and a tad too small for me. And I quite often just don't utterly love the results, and they can be quite bendy. Whereas these, because they're metal, they are solid as a rock. Now, with the leftover dregs of the resin at the bottom of the cup, I've literally just poured it straight into the bookmark because I didn't want to waste any. Now, with the pink, I'm using pink and green. The green pigment is going in as a mica, but the pink I've made more into a pale block opaque colour by just adding a couple of drops of white. Now, this is something that everyone I know for sure, everyone in the resin world already knew, but it's something I only just recently discovered, is that you can take any mica powder on the planet and just add 1 or 2 drops of white liquid pigment and just turn it into a block opaque colour. There's no more shimmer, there's no more blooming, there's no more of that stunning mica, which is absolutely perfect if you want to make pastel shades. Of course, you can buy pastel pigments, But for me at the time, I think it was last Easter, was it, guys? Do you remember? I don't remember. Last Easter, I think I was looking for pastel colours. And yeah, I don't know. I discovered it, but I didn't discover it. Do you know what I mean? You all knew already, so it wasn't my thing. I'm mumbling now. In with the pink. So the plan for these, like I said, is because they're Bridgerton inspired. The plan for these is and always was to put in just 2 colours together, but then add a little something at the end to tie them in with the Bridgerton theme. If anyone here has seen or read the books, let me know already what you're thinking. What do you think I'm going to be putting on these to tie them in with the Bridgerton theme? Okay, my pink is done. Now, at this point, my resin is thickening up. Now, again, this is left over from something else I was filming. So I do feel like it got a little bit tacky, a little bit messy, and I was trying to work against a clock because I could feel the resin getting thicker and feel it warming up in my hands. But it was fine. You know, I just did what I could do, and I thought if I make a mess, I'm just going to wipe it up, right? Get a wet wipe it up, do what I can do at the time. But here's the thing, because the detail on these bookmarks is so intricate, especially that center one, that rose, so intricately detailed, and the nooks and crannies are minuscule. I didn't necessarily feel like I needed to fill it. You know, it was at that moment I just thought I can actually leave some areas of these flowers without resin in, because of course it's a metal form, so it's still going to serve a purpose, it's still going to do its thing, and they're also going to get a top coat. So I knew that whatever I do is going to be absolutely fine, and it really doesn't matter if I fill each and every teeny tiny cavity on those flowers. So at this stage, I really was just doing what I could to get the resin in there before it was just way too thick to actually do anything. Now, at this stage, see, resin is a self-leveling liquid medium. If you are new here, if you're new to resin will normally, in a normal situation, self-level. It will spread until it can't spread anymore. But because this resin is so thick at this point, it's not going to do that. It's not going to naturally self-level. It's too thick to self-level. So it really is important that I got in there with a cocktail stick, or this is a micro brush tool, and just pushed it all the way to the edges. Otherwise, I promise you, I would come back the next day and there would still be huge gaps. Now, this pink is almost like treacle at this point. It's so thick, but I thought, do you know what, just get it in there, shove it in, do what I can, and if it does come out or over the edges, or if it covers up some of the flowers, we can just wipe it off at the end of the day. But I'm already loving the pink and the green. Sometimes I do think, oh, should I have added white? Would it have looked better without the white? You know, go for the full-on mica, beautiful, you know, whatever they call mica. Guys, my words literally didn't come with me when I woke up this morning, all right? So whatever the word is for mica, that's the word I'm looking for. Thank you very much. Yeah, bloom something in there. And also, if anyone is wondering why I didn't do all 6 bookmarks and only did 3, it really purely is because of having it on screen. 3 is so much easier to work with, and 3 just looks better on screen. Having 6 was going to be quite a lot. I knew that I didn't necessarily have the time because the resin was already curing. So 3 is a magic number. I'm sure that's a song, but don't quote me on it. Anyway, as you can see, this resin is like toffee at this point. So I was just against it, up against the clock and struggling. So I simply went for it. I decided that was enough, and, you know, just using the micro brush tool to spread it out, drag it around. And then I thought, well, I'm going to give it like a vine esque appearance and drag the green up into the pink because it's so thick. I'm creating these long strings at this point of resin. This is just, like I said before, too thick to blend on its own, and I don't like harsh lines. If anyone's been with me a while, you'll know I've mentioned that before. The one on the left right now, I can't bear it. I can't bear that sharp pink meets green line. I need it blended. Well, this resin is way too far gone to blend itself. So I'm just out here, you know, helping it along a little bit, dragging the pink into the green and dragging the green into the pink. It's a little bit flamey, but it will definitely lend itself to plants, trees and vines, and that's pretty much all I needed it to do. So at this point I was pretty happy and I decided to walk away. I went to my Cricut, and if you guessed, dearest gentle reader, then you would be right, because oh my goodness me, when Lady Whistledown comes out, the whole of the ton literally stops what they're doing. They read Lady Whistledown, which is a gossip magazine if you've not seen Bridgerton. Even if you're not into period dramas, I promise you it's unlike any other period drama on the planet. Not sponsored by Bridgerton, by the way. But yeah, dearest gentle reader, there was a bit of debris under the D, so I did sort that out and get that out. But I just thought this would be the absolute perfect addition to the bookmarks because, sorry, it's just, it is everything about Bridgerton is dearest gentle reader. Everyone will know that saying across the globe, and it just works on a bookmark. Now, I did go on the Cricut design space and I looked up dearest gentle reader, and funnily enough, there were already files on the Cricut that said dearest gentle reader, but not what I needed. They were like t-shirt printing designs and things like that, but actually I needed to type out my own font, and that was where it got really tricky. My weeding skills are poor right now, and because I needed really teeny tiny wording, I typed this out, and then I think I cut about 4 different fonts, and this was the only font that didn't mess up. And I don't mean me, I mean my machine. Cutting those teeny tiny swirly, what I wanted was like Regency swirly writing. Couldn't get it. I just thought I'm not going to be able to weed that, and I don't even know if my machine's going to cope with that, honestly. So this font I just don't think really goes with the time period, like 1813, 1812 doesn't really go, but it's all I could do. So it is the next day. We are using the Let's Resin to top coat these. Again, this video is not sponsored by Let's Resin or Apex. Apex do have a beautiful top coating resin, which would be absolutely stunning as well and would work. But honestly, any epoxy resin would work for what I'm using it for right now. But yeah, we're going to mix this up thoroughly and get it poured. Now, I did put this through the bubble removing machine by Let's Resin because I really needed this to be crystal clear. This is where I wasn't too worried about getting colours in the flowers because I knew I'd be putting a top coat. I was half panicking that I wasn't going to leave enough room for a top coat, but luckily I did. And yeah, I'm pouring slowly, like 1 drop at a time, slowly, and I've sped this up for you like you wouldn't believe because I just thought, oh, even editing it, I was like, oh Claire, come on, like make this fast because ain't no one gonna sit through that. Nobody. I didn't even want to sit through it myself. So yeah, individually pouring drips and drops into each and every cavity of those flowers and rose petals and leaves and all of the things. Then I used a wooden cocktail stick to go right in there, like dig in there to get rid of any air bubbles. I could see a couple of air bubbles trapped down inside. I don't know what this flower is. Oh my gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's not gladioli, it's something else. Oh, it's something drops, is it? Don't know. Anyway, that one that had quite a few little air pockets deep down in there. So just using the wooden cocktail stick again, which has got a sharper point than the micro brush tools. Like, honestly, at this point, I'm thinking I'm doing quite an okay job, to be honest. Like, I genuinely was worried about top coating because I didn't feel like, I knew I had enough room to top coat, but I always felt like it's just going to come out. It's going to pour over the edges and it's going to come out, and I'm not going to do the best job. I love the way the pink and the green, where I dragged the green into the pink and dragged the pink into the green. I love that it pretty much stayed there because the resin was so thick, and it pretty much stayed there. So we have got this gorgeous blend, this almost vine-esque blend of the green going into the pink, and it's not just a harsh line, which, like I said earlier in the video, I just can't bear it. But yeah, I spent quite a long time digging air pockets out of these molds. The next day, and I was over the moon. I was absolutely buzzing. They looked amazing, but immediately my stomach went. I was like, no, they're so sticky. What's happened? And I realised that each and every bookmark has taken away with it. We've got some gaps here, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Each bookmark has ripped off the sticky from the tape. Look at this. Disaster, honestly. Because if you wanted the backs of these bookmarks to stay the way they were, you would have to spend a long time using your nail polish remover or your isopropyl alcohol to get this sticky layer back off. And honestly, I was not in the mood for that, because if anyone doesn't know me, I do like lazy. I like lazy. But good results still. Like, I still want it to look nice. I just don't want to go to spend hours trying to, you know, get rid of that sticky back. I can't really express to you just how sticky this is in the video, but it's unusable. You wouldn't be able to go ahead and gift this or sell this if you didn't fix the back. And I thought, ooh, what if, because this reminded me of Wendy from Toonfish Crafts. If anyone watches Wendy from Toonfish Crafts, she uses this gel, which I've never used. By the way, Wendy, if you're watching, I do need to get me some of that. She coats her pieces in this, looks like white PVA glue, but it's not. She lets it dry and it remains with a sticky surface, and then she puts foils down. And I thought, well, surely if I just lay some of this foil down over the backs of these, it will stick. Like, it will stick and never move. So I did. I thought, well, let me just do it, because what's the worst that could happen? If it doesn't work, I'll just have to remove the glue. But oh my goodness me, as you can see in the video, I laid down one single sheet of that gold foil, and without hesitation, it is now burnished onto the backs of these bookmarks forever. Could you put a resin top coat on these? Maybe you could. Yeah, a layer of UV resin would work, but honestly, I genuinely do not believe that gold foil is going anywhere. It is stuck to such a sticky surface. Please ignore the state of my nails, guys. I had been painting our spare bedroom just before filming this, so I've got green paint under my nails and pretty much all over my hands. But honestly, I do not believe this gold foil is ever going to move unless you physically went and tried to scrape it off with a craft blade. It's done. I was so happy. I was buzzing because it's just the best outcome. It even comes through the rose as well as like a pale yellow almost. Yeah, absolutely chuffed bits. So happy. I thought about it. I'm sure many of you have tried this before. I personally haven't, I didn't know if it was going to work at all. But it works, guys. It absolutely works. So if you find yourself with that sticky residue on the backs of your pieces from UV resin tape, foil it. Foil it, because that will stick to that residue like you will not believe. Now, at this point, this is what they're looking like. I have not yet attached the tassels that come in the kit. I just picked the 3 tassels that I felt worked best. And this is what they're looking like. The sun came out just in time for me to share these with you in the sun. So pretty. So pretty. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what colours you would have done. Let me know if you are a reader, and let me know if you've seen Bridgerton, because oh my goodness me, I won't bang on about it, I promise. We are done for Bridgerton videos now, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.